right, welcome to Robin Hood Diaries this evening, today, this afternoon, middle of the night, whatever. Glad you could join me this evening. As previewed, as promoted, tonight we're going to touch on audition coaching, audition coaches, and how important it is to be discriminating about who you are learning from. This episode in particular about hiring coaches to prepare you for auditions, especially callbacks, important auditions. People are very often tempted to go out, and there's a whole industry out there for folks that coach folks for auditions, for big auditions, for readings, not cold readings. We already talked about cold readings a few weeks back. Did a whole week on cold readings. This is my sort of warning about going for an audition coach. Now, it can be a recipe for disaster. For you to bring in an audition coach is going to most probably be inconsistent with whatever MO or method or technique that you're currently using. There is bound to be some hybrid effect. They are going to push one element of method versus another one that works for you. So therein lies the recipe for disaster potentially. Now, ongoing study is different than audition coaching. So if you are studying, I am not here to tell you to stop seeing your acting teacher. If it works for you, if it feels right, if it resonates well, if you're getting stuff out of it, and if you're seeing improvement and feeling more organic and more authentic about what you're doing, stick with it. Unfortunately, a lot of acting teachers, classes, and seminars do not do audition coaching. You have certain people that specialize in coaching for auditions, or they are acting teachers who also double as audition coaches. Again, please be careful with audition coaches. Okay. Like I said, if you can get your own teacher to coach you, go by, offer, I don't know, a little extra, then do that, because at least it will be consistent 100% with your current method or technique. She will know it. You'll be working within that context. So you're a lot better off sticking with that, or sticking with what you know of your last class and just being alone and walking into that audition. I do not believe in audition coaching, just like I don't believe in cramming for tests. Very similar. One of the reasons is that many coaches, as I said, they are teachers. They are coaches, they are teachers. It's kind of synonymous, except these are short-term, sort of punch, 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 get the job, get the call back. Well, a lot of these coaches, of course, are married to their own method. They're married to their own techniques. Now, they may be within the classic acting method that we know of, the Stanislavski classic method, but they may be focused on other elements as effective as opposed to elements that you utilize that are effective for you. So it's Danger Will Robinson. Okay, it's Danger Will Robinson walking into an acting coach scenario. It cannot be a blender. You cannot work with a blender or a blended hybrid of techniques, even within the same method. Like I said, the classic method. You can't have somebody walk in when you're in the course of studying with the teacher, or maybe not, and sort of kind of cram all this like methodology into your head. Remember while you're doing the audition. Okay, so what it's going to do is, for a process that's supposed to be effortless at best, maximized, it is effortless. The best performances are effortless. What these audition coaches and coaching tend to do is push you into your head, push you into your own head with technique and methodology. You'll hear subtext a lot. Objective. What's your objective? What are you thinking right now? What is really what you're thinking? Well, this process, like I said, is supposed to be effortless. It's not supposed to cram your own personal subtext as an actor into your work as the character. The goal is to get you to dive into your subtext as the character, from within the character, having embedded that character, whatever your approach is. That needs to come, your subtext needs to be character subtext. What is that character thinking? Like I said, when you lose it during an audition, everybody has deja vu. Everybody blanks out. Everyone spaces out. There are no mistakes in acting. There are no accidents. You can make everything work to your advantage. What you think is a mistake could end up being a brilliant take. Don't forget that. But to cram your head, it's the same. Does that work? Did that work for you in college? Maybe it did. I don't know. To like cram your whole um, you know, exam into your head the night before. It just, and here you're doing it like minutes before. Oftentimes these audition coaches will coach you as you go to the audition, like you'll go from the coach to the audition. Okay, so you're supposed to get out of your head, not get into your head. That's what makes it effortless. You embed, then you dive into the subtext that the character subtext, not your own subtext about what you're supposed to be doing to maintain a performance. And exercises, I know you're going to have a lot of teachers and even audition coaches that focus a lot on exercises, i.e., sense memory. Okay, so no, this is where I drift with a lot of method, in that I do not focus on sense memory. Personally, my students, I expect them to be able to prepare in less than 5, preferably less than 4 minutes. If it is embedded in them how to prepare properly, it should not take more than 3 minutes to prepare. This whole thing about sitting in a chair and feeling the velvet upholstery and smelling the coffee, and it's supposed to remind you of what that character was like when they were 10. I mean, come on, guys. Who thinks like that? Nobody thinks like that. You talk, you listen, you focus, you think, I mean, what else do you do? So, effortless. Remember, if it doesn't feel effortless coming out, then something wrong is going in. Um, weak coaching, audition coaching, tends to focus a lot on the dialogue. What is in the sides that you were given? What are the pages that you're reading? What does she or he know about the character? And then their assumptions about, well, this is what you should do if you were this kind of character. No. Just like your health, in the long run, you're the only really one who knows how your body's feeling. Same with your head, same with acting. If it doesn't feel right, if it's awkward, if it's hard to wrap your mind around at any nanosecond, out of there, stat. Okay? It's not supposed to be like that. And what will happen is, if you get so focused by a weak coach to crawl into your head, it's a trap. It will fracture your focus. You will dive so deeply, so repetitively throughout the process, building up and through the reading, that you will be so deep in your head, your focus will be fractured, and you'll just be completely distracted by technique that should not be in your bouncing around in your head to begin with. Like I told you a few weeks ago, if I was with you on an audition and you were my student and I was with you, I would tell you before you went in, forget everything I've ever told you. Just flood it out. Drain the swamp. Now go in. It's already embedded. You already know the character. You're already thinking the character subtext. That's all you have to do, is just take that, go in, talk, focus, listen, react. I mean, again, that's what we do. Is that not what we do? Okay? Another trap you can fall into, and then I'll leave it at the traps and the downside risks, is dialect coaches. A lot of people over prepare. They will go to Western costume and they'll get uniforms because they're playing a soldier. No. You should be able to do that in a bra and panties, as far as I'm concerned. Same with dialects. I fell into this trap with the best dialect coach, one of the best in the country, definitely on the West Coast, by the name of Larry Moss. He was brilliant. I would sit and watch him like pretend to be celebrities with operators on the telephone and listen to them gush. Or I would say, okay, now do a Yiddish accent mixed with a Danish accent, and he could do these weird hybrids. Fascinating, not good. Okay, because then again you're tripped up in your head, and then you're trying to focus on an accent that's not natural to you. If you're supposed to go in as somebody who was born and raised in Schenectady, New York, just do you. They'll work on the accent. Don't worry about it. They're more concerned about your acting than they are you sound. I mean, they'll have, I mean, Christ, like, didn't Olivia Newton-John sound Australian in Greece? Like, what the hell with that? So they'll find some workaround. So get out of your head, okay? Now, on the good side, aside from the traps, like don't work with dialect coaches, be very discriminating about your audition coaches. When a good one is working with you, they are working from where you are already at in your process. So an audition coach, if you have to get one, which I don't recommend, stick with your current teacher, or let's figure something out. Go to an improv class. We'll learn some prep techniques and go into that reading. You do not want to cram a bunch of information in your head prior to an audition. The good ones that I've worked with, they figure out where you're at in the process, and they may give you tips on character focus. They'll see where you're at with your character, with your own prep that you have, that you own, that is embedded in you, and not step in and start putting frappe on the blender. No, they go from where you're at within your acting process, and they may guide you, give you tips that maybe dive you a little bit deeper into your character's subtext. They will not offer you any techniques. They will do not discuss methodology with you. They will not bring up a element of the classic method that you don't use, you're not already incorporating in that reading. They are there to be your eyes. They are there to add color to your performance. Speaking of eyes, one of my best coaches, what color are his eyes, Sean? I was supposed to be a very, very menacing character that I lost out on a famous movie. But I was convinced by the end I had black eyes, that my pupils were so big and the color in my eyes was so dark, it looked like I had gigantic pupils. That made me fall deeper into this menacing character. It's little things like that. You want to enhance, not change, okay? If you try to change rather than enhance the person's existing choices, then you've just completely, like, you're on a hydroplane to nowhere. So, some of the best that I've worked with, just to taste, Joan Darling, very famous actress and director, most famous for directing most of the Mary Hartman series. Wonderful. She helped me find my voice. The best work I've ever done was in her seminar, playing Treplev in Chekhov's The Cherry Orchard. Yes, The Cherry Orchard. Duncan Ross, founder of the Seattle Rep. Again, he's the one that told me the eyes. Pick little thing, add color, liven it up, enhance, add value, not change. So he did that very well. These teachers, they go with what feels right to you. They know, they can tell where you're at and what is feeling right with you. And you want to know some of the best? They will want to know how you feel about the choices that you're making in that session, in that prep, in that audition coaching session. They want you to answer your own questions. And then it helps in your self-discovery of the character. So I hope some of that makes sense. I don't know. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, but that's been my experience. And again, try to stay true to form. All about audition coaching today, the pitfalls, things to look out for, things to focus on, do, don't do. And consider taking those improv classes. I know I drive that home, but as much as you consider taking acting classes, try to do an improv immersion. Try to find a seminar or something that's like an improv immersion that just throws you in. You want to know why? Improvisation is some of the scariest shit you're ever going to come across. That's why it works. Okay, I'll let you go. It's been forever. Thanks as always. I know I always say this, but you are the highlight of my day. I really look forward to chatting. Chatting? Me chatting at you, with you, for you. And I will see you tomorrow. What else is new? Take care. Love you. Adore you for all this shit. Okay, bye.